Today we need to get into V and the rest of HYBE being reported recently, and things are getting wild. We have V and IU accused of ableist actions and what is going on there, and then we have a BTS impersonator breaking a law and allegedly might be in jail. So Dumplings, is Dave decide, hate it or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on, grab your dumpling, hey Spling Mug merch, and let's go. BTS members have gotten to the point where they are so successful that if someone can attempt to convince people that they are the members, they'll be able to extort a lot of money. And this has happened recently, and it's actually very scary because it's not even like they had to steal their ID or social security card to do that. This is apparently a crazy story talking about how someone impersonated V and Suga, and now they're believed they will spend a year in prison. So what happened? What's going on? And are the boys okay? Yes, fortunately the boys are okay, but I would imagine a situation like this would potentially hurt them emotionally, especially now that it has hit the news. Apparently, a 29-year-old man attempted to steal confidential information. It's believed that it's someone who has participated in the song production process in the past, and since his accusation, he has filed an appeal. Apparently, this guy approached another producer, pretending to be Suga and V, to specifically get some of the unreleased music, and then had allegedly received 10 unreleased files of work that was Tang's, which was very interesting. Because what was this producer allegedly trying to do? Because nothing was ever actually leaked. I don't recall V's solo stuff being leaked prematurely, or even Suga's stuff. So was it allegedly just to enjoy him or herself? Which is very odd. The court talked about how this action of stealing unreleased music can result in financial loss, and also if, of course, theft, so they can spend a year in prison. Apparently, this was not the first time they had attempted to do this, and thus the court is really charging them a lot for it. In case you're wondering how leaked music results in financial loss, let me explain. I think the fandom thinks that when music leaks before the release date, that it's just rude to stream, because they think the artist has a specific reason for their specific date that might add to the art, and thus, if we stream before then, we are disrespecting that. That is also true. However, streaming music before an official release can result in the official release being lackluster, as everyone would have already heard it. The song would have made its rounds, go viral, do all the things, and oftentimes there's no button to buy the song or pre-order. Neither is the song actually on those services to be bought. So the artist is losing a ton of sales. And sure, for most big artists that this happens to, it's not like that money is going to change their lifestyle if they don't make it. However, it will change whether or not in the future they will be allowed to work again or allotted a big budget. Because regardless of what the reason and whose fault for a musical leak and financial loss was, the label blames the artist. So if the album flops and the label spends millions on it, the artist gets dropped. So this is a huge deal if people within BTS's team were allegedly leaking stuff. Apparently, the other producer who had accidentally given the producer that got arrested the leaked music suffered a lot of psychological distress. This makes sense, as they probably are going to be scared and worried about who they send the music to next, or scared that they could lose their job. This is a very reasonable fear. There's been a lot of anxiety going around, and I have mixed feelings about whatever is trending, and people are very upset at specifically HYBE. I do want to preface that I am aware that these actions and fears are based on wanting to protect V and Jungkook and all the other members, and of course even the other groups and members of HYBE. So if you have been on X or Twitter within the last month, let's talk about it. HYBE divest from Zionism has been something that has trended like every day in the last month. People are very mad. One of the last few days, it was believed that people say in the behind the scenes video of the group Le Seraphim that HYBE was allegedly promoting Starbucks. Fans were saying that you could see that the editor blurred out all the brands, including Coke and several others, but failed to allegedly blur out Starbucks in many of the shots. People were mad because Starbucks is in a lot of heat of Zionism. Now, backtrack a bit here. We need to talk about Starbucks because the issue sparked when the union that represents Starbucks employees tweeted something in support of Palestine after the fight started, and then caused a lot of confusion among Starbucks customers. Allegedly, Starbucks even ended up suing the union who did that, and there was a big issue there. I want to say once and for all, even if Starbucks had specific views on a certain side, they do not support genocide. No business supports genocide. In fact, a business is more likely to support bad guys being alive than people dying, because bad guys still give them money. So genocide is a weird thing to accuse a for-profit company of. There's a lot of stuff about this situation. I encourage you to look it up, as I don't have enough time to explain everything here. So now that you know the backlash, you'd understand why people have been upset, and specifically how this situation caused a bigger backlash and a bigger trend trend just within the last day, accusing HYBE of supporting Zionism or what the public believes is Zionism. So what have people done? They are mass sending letters and emails using multiple fake emails requesting that HYBE stop working with Zionism. So one person in the fan club or whatever would draft a long letter explaining the grievances and then asking their fellow followers and friends to copy and paste the email and send it to HYBE. Now, I'm not going to come for a specific email that I read, but the emails that I've read are so immature. It'll start with things like, I feel like you should change, or you're a disgusting company. And it's like, do you think that the legal team that got this email is going to read the rest of it? I promise you that HYBE probably rarely opens those emails in that email address that everyone uses to report things to HYBE. If there's an issue, they'll probably just put someone's name into the search bar of that email account and just read those things. I doubt they sit there and monitor that account daily. A lot of backlash is coming from a place where it's people wanting to control the company rather than an actual concern. If you actually care about controlling or having an opinion in the company, buy a butt ton of their stocks, go get hired by them. Sending them a few emails, not really the best approach. And recently people have been torn about allegedly APTS staff saying some things, and some people are saying that what is said is trying to tear V down. Just a bit of backstory on that. There's been this narrative for a long time that HYBE and the staff hate V and are always trying to attack him. There's no real evidence to back that up. Those accusations came from things like HYBE forgetting to tweet something that V was a part of, or little things like that. Today, I think those haters are a bit more fed because they have a bit more ammunition than they ever did before. There's a stylist that has worked with HYBE and Le Seraphim. The stylist identifies as openly queer. Don't know if that means gender, sexuality, or whatever it is, so I'm going to refer to the stylist using gender-neutral pronouns. They allegedly wrote a post that was directly aiming towards IU and V's song Loves Win All. Specifically, they wrote that the video's concept portrays IU and V not what society considers normal. They specifically reference sexuality and disability, basically saying that they don't want their real self to be distorted on camera. Now, this is hard to understand, but if you watch the music video, or if you haven't and you would like to watch it with me, join us on Patreon, link in the top of the description, then you might have realized that the story shows, I think, IU as deaf and V as blind. But then when IU and V are recording each other with the camcorder, we suddenly see them as none of those things anymore and not having those disabilities. People think that the stylist was implying that disability and things like that should not be seen in this way as something that can be erased and something that is looked at as worse or less than normal. People have fought back with this concept, saying that disabled communities are often seen as inspirational posters. I honestly didn't really understand what this meant initially and had to look into it. And naturally, as someone who is not considered disabled, I wouldn't understand the struggles of those who are. But from what I found out, this is what I believed it means. Disabled people are often seen when they can accomplish something as super inspirational, and thus they're seen as initially less than because everyone praises them for doing things. And those who are disabled, who don't want to do things, are considered lazy and all the bad things. When people who are not disabled and choose to not be extraordinary are just considered regular people. And thus it's sort of this idea that people feel IU and V's music video feels almost like appropriating disability. People also added that the two main characters happen to be played by seemingly straight and not disabled people. While I can't speak on that, if you are offended by it, then there's nothing I can say to justify it because your feelings are obviously valid. I will say I don't think their intention was to do that, and I'm glad that the issue is being brought up so that going forward people can think twice about such an issue. I also think this is taking away from the song. I understand it. I just wish it wasn't happening to IU. I wish she wasn't the example being made. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks for the lovely comments right here. Love you. Bye.